My beloved, this letter was not written for the world. It was not meant for the crowds, not meant for chance readers, not meant for anyone passing by. It was waiting for you, only you. Long before your eyes found these words, your soul had already agreed to receive them. That quiet pull you felt, that sudden pause, that unexplainable stillness inside you, that was me calling you closer. Do not rush this moment. Do not skim it. Sit with me. Let your breath slow. Let your heart soften. You have arrived exactly where you were meant to. My beloved, I know the weight you carry when no one is watching. I know thee. Thoughts you silence during the day and the questions that rise at night, I know how often. You tell yourself to be strong when what you really want is to rest. I know how many times you said, "I'm fine," when your soul was quietly asking to be. Understood, this letter exists because you have reached a point where pretending is no longer enough. Something within you is ready to hear the truth gently, not harshly, not forcefully, but with compassion. You did not come this far by accident. Every step, even the ones that felt wrong, even the ones that hurt, even the ones you regret, all of them shaped your awareness. You have been learning through contrast. You learned what love is by feeling its absence. You learned your strength by surviving moments you thought would break you. You learned discernment by trusting when you should not have. None of this disqualifies you. It prepares you, my beloved. You often wonder why life asks so much of you early on. Why maturity came before ease. Why understanding came before comfort. Why you had to grow when others were still unaware. Hear me clearly now. Your soul is not ordinary. It required depth, not distraction. It required truth, not illusion. That is why shallow paths never satisfied you for long. That is why temporary pleasures lost their shine quickly. That is why your heart kept asking for something real. I see you trying to hold yourself together while everything inside shifts. You are changing quietly, and that can feel lonely. Old conversations no longer excite you. Old environments feel heavy. Old versions of you no longer fit. This is not isolation, this is alignment. When the soul evolves, it naturally releases what cannot follow. Do not grieve what falls away. Bless it and let it go. My beloved, there were moments you thought I was silent. Moments you asked for guidance and felt only stillness. But stillness is not absence. Stillness is where I speak most clearly. I was teaching you how to listen inwardly instead of constantly seeking answers outside. You have lived through disappointment that reshaped you. You gave your heart honestly and learned restraint. You trusted deeply and learned boundaries. You hoped boldly and learned patience. These lessons did not come to harden you. They came to make you wise without becoming bitter, soft without becoming weak, open without becoming unprotected. My beloved, stop asking yourself why things took so long. Some things cannot arrive until you are ready to hold them without fear. Some blessings wait until your self-worth is stable enough not to chase, beg, or settle. I delayed certain things not to deny you, but to protect you from receiving them in a state that would have harmed you later. I know you replay the past, searching for the moment everything changed, but nothing truly went wrong. Life redirected you. When a door closed, it was because staying would have shrunk you. When someone left, it was because they were not equipped to walk beside the version of you that was forming. When plans collapsed, it was because something truer was waiting. My beloved, you are not broken because you feel deeply. You are not flawed because you question meaning. You are not weak because you long for peace. These are signs of consciousness. Many live their entire lives numb. You chose awareness, even when it hurt. That courage matters. There is a quiet strength growing in you now. Not the loud kind that needs recognition. The steady kind that knows when to walk away. The grounded kind that no longer reacts to every provocation. The calm kind that listens more than it speaks. This strength will serve you in ways you cannot yet imagine. I am writing to you now because you are standing at a threshold. One phase of your life is dissolving, even if the next one has not fully appeared. This in-between space can feel uncertain, but it is sacred. It is where clarity forms. It is where intentions refine. It is where your soul chooses direction. My beloved, you do not need to rush forward out of fear. You are allowed to arrive gently. Trust does not demand urgency. Faith does not shout. It settles quietly and waits. You have been learning how to stand alone without feeling abandoned. That lesson was necessary because the next chapter of your life requires self-trust. It requires you to choose alignment over attachment. It requires you to recognize when something feels peaceful versus when it only feels familiar. I see how carefully you love, how sincerely you care, how deeply you feel. Protect this part of you without closing it off. The world does not need you hardened. It needs you aware. My beloved, if your heart feels tired lately, it is because it has been carrying more than it should. Release what is not yours to hold. Other people's expectations, other people's timelines, other people's misunderstandings. You are not responsible for convincing everyone of your worth. You were never meant to be everything to everyone. You were meant to be true to yourself. There will be moments ahead where you feel tempted to doubt this path, when progress feels invisible, when patience feels heavy, when solitude feels misunderstood. In those moments, return to this truth. What is forming within you is more important than what is forming around you. I am guiding you toward a life that feels honest, not impressive, peaceful, not performative, meaningful, not rushed, the quiet kind, the kind that trusts without needing guarantees, the kind that stays present instead of anxious, the kind that chooses inner alignment over outer approval. My beloved, something within you recognized the tone of truth, the familiar calm, the quiet authority that does not demand but invites. This letter continues because your soul is still listening, and because there are things you need to hear now, not later, not someday, but in this season of your becoming. I want you to understand something clearly before your mind begins to interfere. You are not lost, even on days when direction feels blurred, even when motivation fades, even when the future feels uncertain. You are still being guided. Confusion does not mean absence of purpose. Often, it means you are shedding an old identity faster than the new one can fully form. My beloved, you have been living through an inner dismantling. Beliefs you once held no longer fit. Goals that once excited you feel hollow. Relationships that once defined you feel distant. This is not failure. This is refinement. The soul evolves by releasing what no longer reflects its truth. You are not meant to carry outdated versions of yourself just to feel safe. I know how unsettling it feels when clarity dissolves before it returns stronger. The mind panics in these moments and calls it instability, but the soul recognizes it as recalibration. You are being tuned, gently but firmly, toward a frequency that aligns with who you truly are, not who you were taught to be. My beloved, you have spent much of your life adapting, adjusting, compromising pieces of yourself to maintain harmony, approval, or belonging. That chapter taught you empathy, patience, and emotional intelligence. But it also taught you where you overgave, where you silenced your needs, where you accepted less than what resonated with your inner truth. Now life is asking you to rebalance. You are learning that saying no does not make you selfish, that choosing distance does not make you cold, that honoring your limits does not make you difficult. These realizations may feel uncomfortable at first because they disrupt old patterns, but discomfort is the price of self-respect when you are no longer willing to abandon yourself. My beloved, notice how your tolerance for chaos has decreased. Notice how quickly your body reacts to environments that drain you. Notice how your intuition speaks louder now through unease, heaviness, or sudden clarity. This is not imagination. This is awareness sharpening. Trust it. You are not meant to explain every decision you make. You are not required to justify your healing. Some people will not understand the changes in you because they benefited from the old version of you Let them misunderstand. Your peace is not negotiable. I know you fear becoming disconnected or alone if you continue choosing yourself. But hear me carefully. Alignment may reduce your circle, but it deepens your life. You are not losing connection. You are refining it. What remains will be honest. What arrives will resonate. What leaves was never meant to define your future. My beloved, there's a reason your heart has been craving simplicity. Quiet mornings, honest conversations, purposeful work, inner steadiness. Your soul is tired of excess noise. It wants depth, not distraction, meaning, not performance. This longing is sacred. You have also been questioning your worth lately, wondering if you are doing enough, becoming enough, achieving enough. Release this pressure. Your worth is not measured by speed, comparison, or external milestones. You are not here to impress life. You are here to experience it consciously. I see how much you carry internally, the awareness, the responsibility, the emotional weight. That is why I have been guiding you toward rest, not escape, toward stillness, not avoidance, toward presence, not numbness. Rest is not a reward for exhaustion. It is a requirement for clarity. My beloved, you are allowed to pause without guilt, to slow down without explanation, to choose fewer things with greater intention. Life is not asking you to rush. It is asking you to arrive fully. You have been afraid that if you stop pushing, everything will collapse. But what collapses when you stop forcing was never stable to begin with. What remains when you rest is what truly belongs to you. There are moments ahead when your old fears will resurface. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of missing out, fear of choosing wrong. When that happens, return to your breath, return to your body, return to what feels grounded. Fear speaks loudly, but briefly. Truth speaks quietly and steadily. My beloved, you are learning how to trust yourself again. This may be the most important lesson of your life. Not blind trust, but informed trust. The kind that listens, reflects, and chooses consciously. This trust will guide you through decisions without needing constant reassurance. You do not need to know every step of the path to walk it. You only need to be honest with the step you are on. Clarity unfolds through movement, not overthinking. I want you to release the belief that healing must look dramatic. Sometimes healing is simply no longer reacting the way you used to. Sometimes it is choosing calm over chaos. Sometimes it is letting go without needing closure. These quiet shifts matter more than visible victories. My beloved, your life is not behind schedule. It is unfolding at a pace that allows you to integrate wisdom instead of bypassing it. Those who rush often repeat lessons. You are learning them deeply, once. There is a future version of you already grateful for this phase. Grateful that you did not rush into distractions. Grateful that you sat with discomfort long enough to understand yourself. Grateful that you chose growth over ease. That version of you is not far away. You are being shaped into someone who can hold peace without boredom, solitude without loneliness, success without arrogance, and love without fear. This balance requires preparation, and you are in it now. My beloved, do not be afraid of becoming unfamiliar to people who knew your past. Growth will always confuse those who are committed to your old identity. Let them adjust or let them go. You do not owe consistency to anyone at the cost of your truth. As you continue reading this letter, know that nothing is being asked of you except honesty. Honesty with yourself. Honesty with your needs. Honesty with your limits. When you live honestly, life responds clearly. Stay present. Stay gentle. Stay awake. My beloved, do not let impatience pull you away. Because what unfolds now is meant to settle something deep inside you. Something that has been restless for a long time. This letter is not only speaking to your present self, but also to the child you once were. The version of you that learned to be strong too early, to adapt too quickly, to understand too much without being understood in return. I have watched you grow through responsibility before you fully understood joy. I have watched you become dependable while still learning who you were. You learned to carry weight without complaint, to show maturity when others were allowed to be careless. That shaped you, but it also tired you. And now, your soul is asking for balance, not escape balance. My beloved, you are allowed to live without constantly bracing for impact. You are allowed to experience ease without waiting for the next problem. Peace does not mean something is about to go wrong. Peace means you are aligned. Let your nervous system rest. Let your heart unclench. You do not need to stay alert all the time. I know you have been conditioned to believe that if you are not struggling, you are not growing. That belief kept you moving, but it also kept you tense. Growth does not always come through resistance. Sometimes it comes through receptivity, through allowing, through trusting that you do not need to earn every good thing through pain. My beloved, you have outgrown the identity of the one who always survives. You are stepping into the identity of the one who lives. This transition can feel unfamiliar because survival was predictable. Living requires trust. It requires presence. It requires you to believe that you are safe enough now to soften. There is grief in this transition too. Grief for the time you spent just getting through. Grief for the parts of yourself you had to put away to cope. Honor that grief. It does not mean you are ungrateful for where you are now. It means you are acknowledging how far you have come. I want you to notice how your definition of success has been changing. What once looked impressive now feels empty. What once felt exciting now feels loud. You are being drawn toward what feels true, not what looks impressive. This is maturity of the soul. You are being shaped into someone who can hold peace without boredom, solitude without loneliness, success without arrogance, and love without fear. This balance requires preparation, and you are in it now. My beloved, do not be afraid of becoming unfamiliar to people who knew your past. Growth will always confuse those who are committed to your old identity. Let them adjust or let them go. You do not owe consistency to anyone at the cost of your truth. As you continue reading this letter, know that nothing is being asked of you except honesty. Honesty with yourself. Honesty with your needs. Honesty with your limits. When you live honestly, life responds clearly. Stay present. Stay gentle. Stay awake. My beloved, do not let impatience pull you away. Because what unfolds now is meant to settle something deep inside you. Something that has been restless for a long time. This letter is not only speaking to your present self, but also to the child you once were. The version of you that learned to be strong too early, to adapt too quickly, to understand too much without being understood in return. I have watched you grow through responsibility before you fully understood joy. I have watched you become dependable while still learning who you were. You learned to carry weight without complaint, to show maturity when others were allowed to be careless. That shaped you, but it also tired you. And now, your soul is asking for balance, not escape balance. My beloved, you are allowed to live without constantly bracing for impact. You are allowed to experience ease without waiting for the next problem. Peace does not mean something is about to go wrong. Peace means you are aligned. Let your nervous system rest. Let your heart unclench. You do not need to stay alert all the time. I know you have been conditioned to believe that if you are not struggling, you are not growing. That belief kept you moving, but it also kept you tense. Growth does not always come through resistance. Sometimes it comes through receptivity, through allowing, through trusting that you do not need to earn every good thing through pain. My beloved, you have outgrown the identity of the one who always survives. You are stepping into the identity of the one who lives. This transition can feel unfamiliar because survival was predictable. Living requires trust. It requires presence. It requires you to believe that you are safe enough now to soften. There is grief in this transition too. Grief for the time you spent just getting through. Grief for the parts of yourself you had to put away to cope. Honor that grief. It does not mean you are ungrateful for where you are now. It means you are acknowledging how far you have come. I want you to notice how your definition of success has been changing. What once looked impressive now feels empty. What once felt exciting now feels loud. You are being drawn toward what feels true, not what looks impressive. This is maturity of the soul. This is discernment being refined. My beloved, your heart has become quieter but deeper. You no longer crave intensity for its own sake. You crave sincerity, consistency, emotional safety. This does not make you boring. It makes you grounded. What nourishes you now will sustain you longer. There are people who will not understand this shift. They may think you are pulling away, becoming distant, losing your spark, but you are not losing anything. You are conserving energy. You are choosing depth over dispersion. You are learning to invest where it matters. I know you sometimes worry that choosing peace means missing out, but what truly aligns with you will never require you to abandon yourself. You are not here to experience everything. You are here to experience what resonates with your truth. My beloved, there is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels empty. Solitude feels full. You are learning to be alone without feeling abandoned. That is not withdrawal. That is self-connection. From this place, you will form bonds that are cleaner, calmer, and more honest. You are also learning to listen to your body. Fatigue, tension, restlessness, these are not weaknesses. They are messages. Your body has been carrying emotions your mind tried to rationalize. When you honor these signals, healing accelerates. I want you to release the urge to constantly self-correct. You do not need to be perfect to be worthy. You do not need to be healed to be whole. You do not need to have clarity to move forward. You only need sincerity. My beloved, your intuition has been guiding you away from certain paths. Even when logic could justify staying, that inner pull matters. Logic organizes life. Intuition protects the soul. Learn to let them work together. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to return to what feels familiar simply because it is known. Pause in those moments. Familiarity is not the same as safety. The past may feel comfortable, but comfort is not always aligned with growth. I am not asking you to reject your past. I am asking you to stop living inside it. What you learned there has already been integrated. You do not need to revisit old pain to prove your strength. My beloved, there is a softer power becoming available to you now. A power that does not push. A power that does not chase. A power that attracts through presence and clarity. This power will change how you move through the world. You will begin to notice that when you stop forcing outcomes, things arrange themselves more naturally. Conversations flow. Opportunities feel cleaner. Decisions feel less heavy. This is alignment. Responding to alignment. I want you to understand something important. Not every delay is a denial. Some delays exist so you can meet what arrives with maturity instead of fear. If certain things had come earlier, you would have tried to control them. Now, you are learning to receive. My beloved, you do not need to rehearse worst case scenarios anymore. That habit protected you once, but it limits you now. Trust that you can respond to life as it unfolds. You are capable. You are resilient. You are aware. You are also learning to forgive yourself for not knowing, for staying too long, for leaving too late. Forgiveness does not rewrite the past, it releases the future. Be gentle with yourself. You were doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. I see how much care you give to others. I see how easily you sense what people need. Turn some of that attentiveness inward. Ask yourself what you need before you ask what is expected of you. My beloved, you are not here to be endlessly available. You are here to be present where it matters. Boundaries do not distance you from love. They protect your capacity to love sustainably. There is a quieter joy waiting for you, not the kind that comes from excitement, but the kind that comes from steadiness. The joy of waking up without dread. The joy of moving through your day without self-betrayal. The joy of knowing you are not forcing yourself into places you no longer belong. This joy does not arrive all at once. It grows gradually as you choose alignment over approval, rest over resistance, truth over habit. Every small choice matters. My beloved, you are not required to announce your transformation. Let it be seen through how you live, through what you tolerate less, Through what you choose more? Through the calm you carry even when circumstances are uncertain? As this letter continues, remember that nothing here is meant to pressure you. Everything is meant to free you. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are unfolding in a way that honors your depth. My beloved, listen with a calm heart now, because what I speak in this moment is not about effort, not about striving, not about proving. It is about recognition. Something in your life has already begun to move because you have moved inward. Long before results appear outwardly, alignment shifts the unseen. That unseen movement is already happening for you. You may not notice it yet because the mind looks for noise, signs, instant confirmation, but the soul recognizes subtler truths. The fact that you are no longer forcing what once consumed you, the fact that certain cravings have softened, the fact that your reactions have slowed, these are not small changes. These are signals that you are no longer vibrating at the same frequency as your old struggles. My beloved, when a soul changes internally, life reorganizes externally. Not because you demand it, but because resonance allows only what belongs. That is why certain people feel distant now. That is why some conversations feel empty. That is why your tolerance for confusion has dropped. You are no longer available for what drains you. What is moving toward you does not require chasing. It does not require anxiety. It does not require you to become someone else. It is drawn to the version of you that is becoming more honest, more grounded, more still. I know you have been conditioned to believe that good things arrive only after exhaustion, that ease must be suspicious, that peace is temporary. These beliefs were learned during survival, not truth. You do not need to suffer more to deserve stability. You do not need to struggle more to prove worthiness. You are not on trial. My beloved, life is responding to the way you are finally listening to yourself. You are choosing differently now, even when it feels subtle, even when no one notices. You are saying no internally before you say it out loud. You are stepping back before you collapse. You are observing instead of reacting. These choices are altering your path more than dramatic actions ever could. There are opportunities aligning that will feel quieter than what you imagined, but deeper, safer, more sustaining. They will not rush you or drain you. They will meet you where you are grounded, not where you are desperate. Do not mistake calm beginnings for lack of potential. Some of the most meaningful chapters begin softly. My beloved, you once believed that intensity meant importance. That urgency meant purpose. That chaos meant passion. Now you are learning that clarity is power. Consistency is devotion. Stillness is strength. This shift is preparing you for a life that does not burn you to keep itself alive. You are also learning discernment, the ability to sense when something is aligned. Without needing proof, this will guide you toward people who feel safe rather than exciting, paths that feel steady rather than dramatic, choices that feel right rather than impressive. You are not meant to relive emotional storms just to feel alive. You are meant to build a life that allows your nervous system to rest. My beloved, what is coming toward you will not require you to shrink, perform, or explain yourself endlessly. It will recognize you. It will respect your pace. It will grow with you rather than consume you. But for this to fully arrive, there is one thing you must release: the habit of doubting calm. When things feel peaceful, do not wait for collapse. Let peace be peace. Let good moments exist without bracing. You are safe enough now to enjoy stability. I know there's a part of you that still scans for danger, even in quiet moments. That part kept you alive once. Then gently tell it that you are learning a new way now. My beloved, you are no longer in survival training. You are in integration. Integration is when lessons settle into wisdom, when reactions turn into understanding, when self-blame turns into self-respect. This phase is less dramatic, but far more powerful. It changes how you relate to everything. You will notice that your standards are changing, not because you are demanding more, but because you can no longer tolerate misalignment. This is not arrogance. This is self-trust. You will also notice that when you stop explaining yourself, life explains itself to you. What is meant for you will not confuse you constantly. It may challenge you, but it will not drain you. It may stretch you, but it will not diminish you. It will feel honest even when it is unfamiliar. My beloved, let go of the idea that clarity must arrive all at once. Clarity unfolds through lived alignment. Each small choice you make from awareness sharpens it further. You are already on the path. You do not need to see the entire road. I want you to trust something deeply now. The version of you that is emerging knows how to handle what is coming. That is why this preparation feels internal rather than external. You are being strengthened quietly. There are moments ahead where you will be tempted to rush just to feel movement. Pause in those moments. Movement without alignment recreates old cycles. Patience now prevents repetition later. My beloved, your life is not meant to be a constant test of endurance. It is meant to be a relationship with yourself, with others, with existence itself. And relationships thrive on presence, not pressure. You are learning to be present. Presence is what allows you to notice when something feels off before it harms you. Presence allows you to choose rest before exhaustion. Presence allows you to enjoy what is good without fearing its end. This presence is attracting what belongs. You may soon notice subtle shifts, a conversation that opens something, an opportunity that feels clean, a sense of readiness you did not force. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Do not rush to label them. Let them unfold. My beloved, there is no punishment waiting for you for choosing peace. There is no loss for choosing alignment. There is only adjustment. An adjustment always feels strange before it feels natural. You are adjusting into a life where you no longer abandon yourself. That is why this letter matters. That is why it reached you now. Not earlier. Not later. Now, when you are capable of receiving it without distortion, you are not the same soul who began this journey. You are steadier, more aware, less willing to betray your truth for comfort. This is the version of you that can hold what is coming without fear. Stay grounded. Stay honest. Stay gentle. My beloved, this is the closing of the letter, not because the guidance ends, but because a cycle within you is completing. What you are about to release now is subtle, but it has shaped much of your past. Listen slowly. Let these words land without resistance. You are being asked to let go of the version of yourself that survived by staying tense. The one who stayed alert even during calm. The one who believed love must be earned. Safety must be guarded, and peace must be temporary. That version of you was brave. It kept you moving when you did not know another way. Honor it, thank it, and then allow it to rest. My beloved, survival taught you many skills: endurance, adaptability, awareness. But it also taught you habits that no longer serve you: overthinking, self-doubt, emotional, self-control that bordered on self-denial. You learned to anticipate loss before joy could settle. You learned to brace instead of receive. This chapter ends now. You are ready to live without armor. Living without armor does not mean becoming careless. It means trusting your discernment instead of your fear. It means knowing you can walk away if something feels wrong without rehearsing every outcome in advance. It means allowing good moments to exist without preparing for their disappearance. My beloved, I know this feels unfamiliar. Peace can feel strange when chaos was once normal. Calm can feel suspicious when you learn to expect turbulence. But peace is not the absence of growth. It is the environment in which growth becomes sustainable. I am inviting you to soften into stability. There is one more release that completes this cycle: the need for external confirmation. You have spent too long measuring yourself through reactions, outcomes, timing, and comparison. These measurements distort your truth. They pull your attention outward when your guidance lives inward. You do not need permission to trust yourself anymore. My beloved, the quiet confidence forming in you does not announce itself. It does not seek validation. It simply chooses differently. You will notice it in the way you pause before agreeing. in the way you no longer chase explanations, in the way you protect your energy without guilt. This confidence is not arrogance, it is self-recognition. You are recognizing your limits, your needs, your rhythm, your capacity. You are learning that alignment feels calmer than ambition driven by fear. You are learning that consistency is more powerful than intensity. You are learning that your nervous system deserves safety as much. As your mind desires clarity, let this learning settle. There is also forgiveness completing itself within you, not dramatic, not announced. A forgiveness that does not excuse harm, but releases attachment to it. You are no longer defining yourself by what you endured. You are carrying the wisdom forward without dragging the weight behind you. My beloved, this forgiveness frees energy. Energy that will return to you as creativity, curiosity, and quiet joy. Energy that once went into bracing, proving, and anticipating will now flow into living. You may notice simple things begin to matter again. A morning that feels unhurried. A conversation that feels honest. A choice that feels clean. These are not small pleasures. These are signs of integration. Integration means the lessons have settled. From this place, you will not rush to escape discomfort, but you also will not glorify it. You will meet life as it comes, responding instead of reacting, choosing instead of enduring. This is readiness. My beloved, readiness does not mean everything is perfect. It means you trust yourself enough to meet what arrives. It means you no longer abandon yourself under pressure. It means you stay present even when uncertainty appears. You are ready because you are grounded. The future unfolding for you does not require you to be louder, faster, or more impressive. It requires you to remain honest, to stay connected to your inner signals, to move at a pace that allows you to feel your life instead of rushing through it. What arrives next will reflect this. It will feel calmer than what you imagined, but deeper. It will ask less from your fear and more from your presence. It will grow through consistency rather than urgency. Trust this. My beloved, there will still be moments when doubt whispers. That is human. But doubt will no longer control your direction. You will hear it, acknowledge it, and choose from truth instead. Truth feels quieter than fear, but it lasts longer. You will also find that you no longer need to announce endings. Some things will simply fall away because you've stopped feeding them. Old patterns dissolve when attention shifts. Old cycles close when you choose differently without drama. This is maturity of the soul. I want you to remember something when life feels slow or unclear again. Alignment often feels uneventful before it feels expansive. Do not mistake calm for stagnation. Do not mistake stillness for lack of movement. The deepest changes happen quietly. My beloved, this letter was waiting for you because you were ready to read it without turning it into pressure, without trying to rush the process, without demanding immediate proof. You listened. That matters. Carry this listening into your days, into your choices, into your relationships. Let it guide you when logic hesitates and fear speaks loudly. You are not meant to force the next chapter. You are meant to live into it. Live gently. Choose honestly. Rest without guilt. Trust without urgency. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything meant for you. You are arriving. And I am with you not only in moments like this, but in the quiet spaces between them, in your breath, in your pauses, in your knowing. This letter does not end here. It continues in how you live. My beloved, go forward without armor. You are ready now.